So today in this video, we will talk about what are basically MCP servers, how these are different from the normal AI agent. What is the difference between AI agentic workflow and MCP agentic workflow, and how these MCP servers helping AI agents to build whatever you want without giving a complex prompts and without deep dive into a complex system. So welcome back and let's start this. Okay, if we talk about the basic communication medium, here you can have input, it goes to LLM and then it will produce output. This is basic parameter or basic workflow of any LLM when you are working with whether it is chat GPT or Claude or anything. Okay, so if we will talk about the AI agentic workflow, normally we use AI agents in NA10. So how this system work, when you give input to AI agent, so it produce output with the help of two things. One is tools and what is memory. You can use Claude or any other large language model in the form of tools, and memory helps AI agent to save what kind of processing this agent is doing, so it can produce better response. But remember here, AI agents work with the third party source, that is API keys. If you don't have API keys of that application or of that websites, you cannot communicate with that websites through AI agents. And when you got your API keys of that application or of that websites, then you have to set all the parameters, like you have to do coding, you have to set JSON structures, and it's a complex process. You know that a lot of things are required. HTTP requires the putting of correct URL by getting or post. Every type of URL is different based and depend on the function you are doing, you are performing with your AI agent. So after that, you'll notice that there are no standard protocol for that. Remember, for example, let me say that if I am using my AI agent and I am automating my emails, so what I have to do, I have to add different nodes for getting an email, for writing an email, for posting a response, or for the putting all the things into the Airtable or into the Notion. So for that I need 4 or 5 different nodes, and in each node there will be a different settings, there will be different URLs, there will be different API keys, or maybe API key will be the same, but the parameters, the JSON structure, and all the things will be different, and no standard protocol will be followed in that system. If you add another AI agent after the 4 or 5 email node, then you have to redirect all the settings for that AI agent. The setting means like the structure, the like coding you are doing in the JSON body, or the JSON structures you are observing. Oh, this is the complex parameters are there. So there are no standard protocols. You have to decide and you have to select, you have to insert each and everything manually by yourself to communicate with that website or with that application that will be based on the API key of that application or website. So after that it will perform actions. When it will perform actions, it will produce different codings, different parameters, and different settings. And on the basis of those settings, then you have to decide whether your AI agent is producing the correct response or not. So this is a complex and a very complicated process. Although the results produced by this step is great, I cannot say that the results are different from the MCP servers. They are producing the great result, but I must say one thing over there, that the complexity is far involved in this process. So This is the basic agentic AI workflow and how this system works. So now let's talk about the MCP agentic workflow. And today in this video, I will clear all the basic confusions of MCP agents, MCP servers, how they work, how the workflow look like, and what are the advantages of these MCP servers. Okay, let's say for example I have to put input, and the input is like I'm redirecting, or I'm searching some places, some apartments in the New York City. So what this MCP agent will do, it will connect to MCP server. MCP server The MCP server is the database of the websites, if they have built or not. Now this depends. For example, I am taking the example of Firecrawler over here. For example, I am looking the apartment in the New York. So what will I do? I will pick up the MCP server of Firecrawler, and my MCP agent will connect with that MCP server of Firecrawler. So after, when it will connect with MCP server of Firecrawler, I don't have to need this coding or JSON structure or complex parameters. What I have simply to do, in the chat box, I have to ask that please search a big apartment in the New York street, and MCP server through this Firecrawler will start scraping the Airbnb or booking.com or any other website, whatever the database will contain. It will start looking for those apartments and those, what you are looking for, and it will list down apartments and for you. So this is for, then here we don't need to add the filter nodes that I'm looking for this much price or this much price, or I'm looking for here and there. I don't need API keys of Airbnb. I don't need API keys of booking.com, whether just like as compared to in this agentic workflow, where you need every API key of different website, of every website you are using. But here we don't need any API key. We just need to connect our agent to MCP server, and in that case example I am using the Firecrawl. So after that, when you are done with your research, then you will uh, text to your agent that now look the famous restaurants which should be near to my apartment. So what MCP agent will do, it will scrap and it will go to the Google Maps, and it will find out what are the close restaurant or coffee shops nearby to that apartment through the database of this Firecrawler. And in the second node, that is, we are looking for the restaurant, we don't need API key either. We are just chatting with our agent, we are just chatting with MCP server of Firecrawler, and the Firecrawler is finding out what are the best possible solution for us. So this is the biggest advantages of MCP agent. When it will produce output, you don't need to observe what coding it has done for you, what are the even JSON structures, and what are the complex parameters involved while producing the output. And it's this process is totally depend on simple plain English. No complex coding is required, no JSON body is required, and not at all these all things. So I hope you got this point, that what are the MCP agents. Now here the main point is, we need these MCP servers, and MCP servers of those typical website through which you want to connect. And there are a couple of websites which has developed their own servers, but a lot of websites didn't develop their servers yet. But soon as the time pass, this MCP is trending right now, so soon the famous website, the apps, the companies will start building their own MCP servers, so it can directly convey or communicate with the MCP agents in any workflow or in any lang base or lang graph or any the platform that on which you are building the AI agents. So let's see over there what are MCP server. This is the GitHub page of MCP servers. So here you can use the MCP servers in different cloud platform, in different art and culture websites. If you want to collect the data of art and culture, you have to connect with these website. If you want to connect with your MCP agent with the cloud platforms, here are the solutions for that. If you want to communicate with other websites too, here are the options. So here is the detailed list of all the MCP servers that has been developed by different companies and different systems in finance and fintech and in gaming and knowledge and memory. These companies have built their own MCP servers through which you can communicate. And for the location service, see, Google Maps easily integrate for location services in marketing. If you want to analyze marketing, if you want to find out the e-commerce products, so this is the complete detail of the websites that has been developed their MCP servers. Okay, so here are the other tools and integration. Apify has their own MCP servers, and these websites are overlisted here, so that you can use easily your MCP agent to communicate with your servers. So this is the another GitHub repository of the Firecrawler. What Firecrawler MCP can do: it can scrap, it can crawl, it can search. So what you have to do, what you can exactly do with this: if you are looking for the apartment, you have to scroll the Airbnb in one node. And if you want to take out the listings as an example, you have your own website just like Airbnb, so this fire crawler will also execute that listing for you. No setup is required because you have already connected with fire crawler server. You just have to add another node, and you have to chat with the model that please give me that thing in a simple plain text English. So it can do a web search, it can automate queries, it can monitoring for cloud API, it can give support, it can give mobile and desktop solutions. So these are all the MCP servers Firecrawler applications, and you can use all these things in that workflow very very easily. So I hope you got this point, that what are the MCP server and what are MCP agents and how these are different with the normal AI agenting workflow. This word is becoming a buzzer nowadays, and a lot of people are just confused that what is the difference between this and this. So with this chart, I hope that you easily got the point that what is the difference between AI agents in simple way or in MCP agents in different way. We will start building some real workflow on these MCP agents and servers in the next couple of videos. So please subscribe, hit the like, and share your thoughts about this video. Thank you very much.